Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3, where today we're going to be concluding the cleanup video with, well, a bit of a twofold gambit. The first part of the video which being the Flan minigames. Now again, you might have been noticing these little cream puff cakes all throughout the different worlds of Kingdom Hearts. Well, they're pretty much here for minigames, basically taking the place of, the dancing mushrooms from Kingdom Hearts 1, Mushroom 13 from Kingdom Hearts 2, and now these are pretty much our equivalent for Kingdom Hearts 3. In which case, you're basically going to be doing a whole bunch of minigame shenanigans, sugar-me-doos, and, yeah, basically completing it all for that delicious reward of, well, getting some special ingredients that you can only get from these Flans, and in turn, well, yeah, the Orichalcum Plus that we desperately need for the ultimate weapon. So yeah, if you happen to fail a minigame like that, they'll basically either shrug their shoulders and go, "Oh dear, you failed. Oh well." And, yeah, that's pretty much sad. You get nothing. However, on the successful attempt, or maybe the slightly better attempt, if you do a bit better, yeah, then you get a little something for your efforts, and then if you do well enough, they jump and clap their hands, and then you pretty much get the big reward, which pretty much indicates that you've done it right, and are one step closer to getting your Orichalcum Plus. Yeah, the crux of this game is basically to be a Thebes slider minigame, where basically the short and sweet of it is, hit as many Flans as possible, and try and keep your speed up, because if you stop dead in your tracks, well, that's pretty much the minigame dead and over right there. As nearly was the case with us right here, but, thankfully, we know how to snowboard. All that practice with the Frozen Slider minigame wasn't for naught. Hey, see, look, there's all those holes that Pete was digging to look for Pandora's box, and it's still there for any hapless Greek citizen to completely get their goat. Yeah, there are actually multiple pathways you can take down here in order to get multiple different Flans, so, yeah, picking the right route is essential if you want to, get the biggest score possible, but, yeah, it's definitely something that'll take a few tries, and if you'll be noticing right here, it's actually playing the training theme from Birth by Sleep, if you'll remember the tutorial segment as Ventus, where it's like, "Wow, you want a piece of me? Stationary training equipment?" But yeah, we don't quite get it this time, but this is pretty much the second tier of congratulations, where you just get, I don't know, one or two ingredients here and there, and it's basically just a paltry reward, but, yeah, then you're encouraged to do a wee bit better next time. And as you're going to be seeing throughout the video, like, not all of the Flan minigames are pretty much the exact same thing all around. You do get different minigame varieties, so, I mean, I'll give it this. I mean, there is variety there to be found, but at the same time, though, it can, also be a bit of a results may vary category, where depending on the minigame in question, well, you might find yourself being a little bit frustrated by what you have to do. But in any case, this is what happens when you get everything correct. You see the Flan right here going, "Hooray, hip hip hooray, oh my, oh hooray!" And yeah, for your efforts you also get the ingredient in question from whatever Flan you pick. In this case, it's, you got cherry, and now we got strawberry. And before I ended up doing this commentary, this was the only Flan minigame I'd ever attempted in my earliest playthrough before I decided, fuck that, and that's what I thought they were all samey, but apparently not. In this case, this is pretty much picking up all the Flans using the teacup sugar-me-do minigame, and picking them all up and just trying to get your score as high as you possibly can. Try and avoid the other Flans that are there to sort of rock your boat on, some of the rolling strawberries and whatever else, and, yeah, should be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, the more you collect, the slower you go, so be forewarned, because those on, those rolling strawberries are gonna be pretty dangerous. And not to mention, depending on the height of the ceiling, you might also find yourself being unable to get under certain terrain the higher you get, so do be careful as you try and desperately balance these Flans. But yeah, you can't get higher than, what the ceiling is providing, so, whoop-de-doodle. But yeah, all that aside though, not too bad of a minigame, really. Steady. Steady. So yeah, a lot of these minigames are very much simply as simply does, but at the same time though, they do make sure to add some hazardous penalty mechanics, and yeah, they're going to get a lot harder as we go on from the earlier worlds all the way towards some of the later worlds in the game, so be forewarned. If you leap without a net, you'll find it won't be there all the time, so watch your step, don't fall. God, those Flans must be shitting out their ingredients right now, being that high up. And yes, this was one that I actually managed to get first time, I believe. Hooray, woohoo, yeah, alright, yeah, woohoo. And onwards to new adventure, as we enter Tangled Land with the Oodly Doodly. So yeah, this is the peach, or is that an orange? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, either way, it's a Flan that's, yeah, this one actually takes, well, something I actually, learned is that, first of all, your camera can actually run out of film, run out of space for taking pictures, so, yeah, you do need to make sure that you have at least 7, free camera slots so that you can take pictures of the Flans, and what you're doing here is that you're basically trying to capture these Flans in a unique position. It's basically the equivalent of fucking Pokemon Snap, really, where you capture them in a unique position and you either get excellence or good or whatever. And again, I think you need to get like above 1500 points in order to get the maximum score threshold, so yeah, by the time you get that, you should be golden, but it can be a bit difficult to capture these Flans in, you know, in their most exotic of poses. Come on, baby, give me love! But, yeah, as you can tell right here, I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing, so, I'm stupid. And again, you only have, like, 7 shots to get it right, so again, if you don't get it right the first time, well, you're pretty much going all the way down, and if you happen to get one, but it's not the right shot, then, well, you pretty much fucked up and failed. That said, though, there are actually some hidden Flans, like, one that's, like, very small that you have to take a photograph of, one hidden in the seas, and another of which where you have to wait for certain things to happen, like, for example, one Flan that you have to wait for, you know, in order to get all the animals to go onto its person, and then take a picture, as, I guess what was meant to be a nod to Snow White and all the cuddly little critters.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. You need to wait till all the creatures are on there, it does its little pose, and, yeah. But again, you do need to be patient, which was what I wasn't until, you know, I had to pay attention much later, so yeah, needless to say, I didn't exactly get the best score that I possibly could have for this one, but, them's the breaks when you play Kingdom Hearts Snap. Yay, woohoo, yeah, woohoo, alright, finished. And it's playing a Dream Eater style theme of taking pictures. Oh, well, you failed. Warp. But this time, I succeed. Oh no wait, I was wrong. I guess 1500 was what you needed to get the regular score. This one is 2300, I believe. Stop running away. Oh, he's photo shy. Do we need to bring out the puppets? So we can say cheese. There you go. See, again, wait for them to pose like that, and you pretty much get the maximum score threshold possible. Any other clues I have to beating this minigame is actually to find some of the more hidden Flans that net you some extra points, so yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote in this case. Wait for them to pose and find the hidden Flans. And Fruit and Ultimate Orichalcum Plus will be your reward as we don't want to live anymore. Falling down the mountain, which is actually located right next to the giant ice palace, for those of you wondering, so yeah, that's where this blueberry Flan is located, and this one is a little bit more down to brass tacks, as, yeah, take out as many Flans as you possibly can, get a score of 33,000, and bada bing, you do the thing, and you should be able to achieve victory. Which I sadly do not with this one, but, whatever, it's a more fun minigame than the taking pictures one, at the very least. Yes, but in the meantime, however, as I continue to while away the wee hours as I have to access my telecommunications device. One moment please, as you enjoy the violence. Yeah, I might as well talk about some other aspects of Kingdom Hearts 3. Or at least in terms of some of the stories so far, particularly with the Sora and Kairi relations, as I pointed it out before. Yeah, particularly with Sora and Kairi's relationship. I neglected to comment on it because, again, it was during a cutscene, and I still maintain my policy of staying quiet during cutscenes so that, you know, audiences can make up their own mind and enjoy the story without, you know, also wacky internet reviewers chiming in with churlish comments, as I usually do. But, yeah, Sora and Kairi's relationship apparently going from 0 to fucking, like, oh yeah, we love each other now, even though I spent the preceding 2 games going, Riku, my darling, Riku, I love you, and even throughout this game I was also going, Riku, have my babies. I mean, again, I know I do say this a lot in jest about Sora and Riku being gay lovers and all that, but at the same time, though, there is also the aspect of the fact that Kairi hasn't gotten a lot of development, and I'm aware timeline-wise between Kingdom Hearts 2, Dream Drop Distance was only, like, a couple of weeks to, you know, anything else, and Kingdom Hearts 3 happened shortly after that. But, yeah, with the amount of years that they haven't really been doing anything with Kairi in terms of game releases, that's, yeah, one of the bigger problems, and I suspect one of the problems that the Japanese voice actors brought up in their, you know, backhanded complaints about Kairi's characterization. Which, again, one of my few hopes of Kingdom Hearts 4 is that they, you know, do more with Kairi and actually build up the whole tee-hee huddle ha, we love each other with Sora, if that's the route that they're going to be going down. Because, I mean, quite frankly, it's, I'm not going to say it comes across as a bit too little too late, but they really should have been developing this, you know, alongside Kingdom Hearts 2 and, you know, beyond, really. But in any case, back to the Flan minigames. This one is probably one of the more pain-in-the-ass ones, where you basically have to destroy the Flans that pop up, and avoid the big fucker over there just pretty much trying to have Sora for lunch. So yeah, it's pretty much going to be bouncing up and down, making craters in the ground, and again, if you're a little bit too sedentary, well, yeah, you get eaten. Not the only minigame where that happens either, but yeah, can be a little bit frightening, especially as it, yeah, try not to use big moves like that, because otherwise it leaves you a little bit too prone, and then this thing gets a little bit more active as the fight goes on, and, yeah, that shit pretty much goes, Sora, oh. But in any case, one, you know, edits later, and we've pretty much got all we need to. And, this is the Watermelon Flan, which is, I'm trying to remember what minigame this reminds me of. I mean, again, it is pretty much like a basic run to certain cannons and shoot them up, but yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. Shoot down all the Flans flying in, and bada bing, you do the thing, you'll pretty much get your reward. Not that I do it first time, mind you, but yeah, this little shooting ducks minigame is simple but effective, I suppose. But yeah, to kind of bring it up yet again in terms of anything else Kairi related, in terms of her and Sora's relationship, Kingdom Hearts 3 does give them a little bit more to do, so I mean, again, I am glad that they are actually finally capitalizing on giving Kairi shit to do. But at the same time though, and you know, I am gonna, okay, I'm not gonna spoil what she does in Kingdom Hearts 3 in the Remind DLC, but in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, the game where she was pretty much, you know, looking for her budding boyfriend Sora, you know, at a time when she ends up fighting Mr. Blankety Blank, who will also be fought at the end of this game, yeah, basically Sora pretty much takes the wheel and ends up doing the fighting for her, leading to Kairi pretty much going, okay, I need more Keyblade training, so I'm going to train with Aqua. And again, Kingdom Hearts 4, at least by, you know, one of the, you know, trailer, no, it was more of the screenshot implications with, you know, Mickey, pretty much, you know, Mickey pretty much going around, you know, the Keyblade area that, you know, Eriquis and young Xehanort were at in the beginning of the, you know, intro screen of this game. But yeah, basically Mickey's exploring around there. It shows that Mickey is at least a temporary playable character, so what I am hoping for is at least that we get some playable Kairi time, even if minutely in Kingdom Hearts 4, so we can get at least a little bit more development with her. And then finally give this whole Sora-Kairi relationship a little bit more justice, as it apparently was supposed to have, meant to have been all along, except it focused on Riku, and Riku was the first one who gave Sora the Palpu fruit, because they're gay. Tee-hee huddle ha. Dearie me. But anyway, one last Flan to get, and then the Orichalcum Plus will be ours. In this case, it's, I have no idea what the fuck that kind of fruit is, but in any case, this one's kind of similar to the Monsters Inc. Flan, where basically you pretty much have to, well again, rather than destroying the Flans, you pretty much just have to play a game of, bouncing on top of their heads, and, yeah, you can't bounce on the same one twice until it lets up, because otherwise, well, you pretty much fall right into its mouth, and, Flan eats you. Oh, yep, let's take it right back again. You can pretty much tell where exactly they are with the sparkles on their head that pretty much launch you to another building, and, yeah, harder platforming challenges abound. Yeah, let's break it down. Let's bring it back to 2000 8 era internet joke humor, whatever. Hey, in Soviet Russia, Flan eat you. Ha 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 ha, I lost. But yeah, this was the one that I was thinking of where you need a score of 1500.
Whoop-de-doodle, I made a mistake.
But that should pretty much be the end of it, and yeah, you pretty much get like an in-game trophy for completing all the Flan minigames. And as you'll soon see right here, our Fruit Bears Reward. Fruit Bears Reward. What an unusual turn of phrase. In any case, we get our Orichalcum Plus. I'm going to take a drink of the Pepsi, and then we'll pretty much have our final stop before we continue with more plot. So, yeah, see you in a bit. And now we bring back an old dirty joke from Kingdom Hearts 1. I bring you the completed SS Fruta Lover. The gummy ship customization that I swore that I would never partake in, but I did. And I needed it to defeat this gummy ship super boss, as well as getting teeny ships to aid me. But yeah, I basically upgraded the engine capacity so I could actually penetrate the interior of, well, our current super boss, and as you're going to be seeing right here, well, yeah, this is probably the hardest gummy ship boss in the game, mayhaps, besides one boss that we'll be fighting at the end of, well, right at the end of the commentary, probably the hardest boss. Yeah. Now, you see that giant tornado over there? That's, you know, regular thermosphere. Yeah, let's fly into it. Nothing dangerous about that.
Huh? I think it's hostile.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Thermosphere. Well, Thermosphere slash Schwarzgeist. Now, this isn't really anything to do with Kingdom Hearts, because it is in fact a boss taken from the shoot-'em-up game Einhander for the Sony PlayStation, developed by Squaresoft, and yeah, one of the few entries into genres other than JRPGs. In any case, though, yeah, I pretty much cut the boss fight down to its final health bar, because, you know, even with the SS Fruit Lover, even it is not powerful enough to take on the power of Schwarzgeist without careful flying and avoiding its most damaging attack, that little cape sugar me do with all that, those yellow lasers that it shoots out. Yeah, everything else is otherwise fine, but yeah, needless to say, you got a lot of lasers to dodge, and you know, got a lot of its shields to dodge out of the way of, and yeah, needless to say, this will put you through your paces. I initially thought that you needed to destroy this thing in order to get the Orichalcum Plus for the ultimate weapon, but no, all you really get for defeating this thing is basically, yeah, those yellow lasers right there will be the bane of your existence. If you don't utilize your barrel or aileron roll ability, that pretty much grants you small invincibility flames. But invincibility flames, dude, that'd be fucking sick. But yeah, you basically need to keep rolling. What? Rolling. What? Yeah, whatever. Essentially, just yeah, hang to the edge of the screen and keep dodge rolling. Otherwise, well, you're pretty much fucked, because those yellow lasers will pretty much eviscerate you right then and there, and that is no bueno. But in any case, though, this is a pretty sick-as-hell boss fight, and, you know, one that will put you through your paces, and, yeah, it's quite an enjoyable boss fight with a sick-as-hell theme that was remixed from the original, Einhander game. So yeah, quite enjoyable, but it's not over yet. We might have destroyed the main body, and, yeah, I'll tell you much beforehand, there are a lot more phases than that, but, don't get comfortable, because even with, its last little sliver of health right there, it's still a bit of a pain in the ass, which is what the remainder of this is going to be, so yeah, the big body might be destroyed, but again, as a reward for defeating this thing, you do get the Schwarzgeist itself as a gummy ship, as well as the Endymion, which was, you know, the player ship that you control in Einhander, and, yeah, overall, a pretty decent reward for those that really do enjoy, you know, Einhander. So I guess while we still have health bars to whittle down and more techno tracks to listen to, which was, you know, pretty sweet. Yeah, Einhander was never released in the PAL regions, and was also never re-released outside of Japan, so yeah. I mean, really, it's kind of a shame, really, because I mean, I personally am not really much of a fan of shoot-'em-ups, but I mean, there is like a cult fan base for, you know, Toho games and all that, so I don't know, it's kind of interesting that they never thought to just re-release it, maybe as part of a compilation or something. This also made me curious, if there was ever a sequel to Einhander, would it be called Zweihander, given the German naming schema? Who knows, really. In any case, so I do consider this to be one of the game's, well, 2 super bosses. Well, technically 3 super bosses if you want to count one that we're going to be fighting right at the end of the commentary, but, neither here nor there in this case. But, yeah, primarily why I consider it to be a super boss is because, well, again, it's a lot harder than any other Gummy Ship fight you'll encounter in the game. And that's something I learned when I fought against the Omega Machine, and while, again, that one is still fairly challenging, it's, nothing compared to defeating, you know, Schwarzgeist, so, yeah. Not really too much to say in that aspect, but I mean, all the same though, pretty fun boss fight and, yeah, just, really difficult and a pain in the ass. But I mean, it's that kind of thing in a good way, really. I mean, again, I was, you know, I was, in pain when I finished it, but again, it was worthwhile and, enjoyable to experience a part of Square Enix history with a rather out-of-left-field reference for Kingdom Hearts, but again, I like it when Square Enix does that for a lot of its properties from The World Ends With You, and, I don't know, hopefully maybe Parasite Eve in Kingdom Hearts 4. It'd be fun. But yeah, that's neither here nor there in this case. When it comes to what's coming up next, we're pretty much going to our next quadrant, and then pretty much heading towards the Keyblade Graveyard, where the Keyblade War will begin anew. And, yeah, a little bit more story, and, yeah, things are coming to an end. So, I suppose on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keeping new metal, and next time in the Kingdom Hearts 3 commentary, well, we're finally entering greener pastures, by which I mean browner pastures. Catch you later.